Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing something rather surprising. I'll get to that in a minute. So, excuse me, I am Teresa Crafty Grams, and thank you for watching today. Today is Christmas, so I will wish everyone out there a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and Happy Hanukkah. I believe we're in the middle of that, or maybe have just ended that. Regardless, happy holiday season. So, yesterday, after all of the chaos of the evening, I have my kids and grandkids on Christmas Eve. That is a tradition that my mother started with my children, and so I sort of leave it that way. Her thoughts being that, when the kids open their Santa Claus gifts, she didn't want them to have to, get dressed up or whatever, leave the house, leave their new toys, whatever, all like that. So that's what I'm doing with mine. I've started early, and yeah, so that's that. So last night, after the events and festivities were over and I was completely exhausted, I got on YouTube and I realized I saw one of my, I don't know, notifications, and it was from several days ago, and I apologize that I just now saw it. But it was from I had been tagged in a video by Dee Dee's Studios 72, and I'll, of course, link her in the bottom. Her name is Dee Dee. She's a small creator, as am I. I don't think we're small creators. We have small channels. We haven't grown our channels to be as large as our crafty selves are or would like to be. Anyway, it's a small channel challenge. And what it is that we're going to, she tagged several other small creators who have less than 1,000 subscribers, and she challenged us to do this sort of introduction and attempt to form a coalition, I guess, to help boost each other's visibility on YouTube, if you will. Sorry, I gotta move you. You're crooked. I mean, the device is crooked. You're not crooked people. I'm sure of that. Anyway, so what it is that Dee Dee has challenged us to participate in this small crafty creator challenge, specifically for smaller channels. As I said, those of us under 1,000 subscribers who are still growing, learning, finding our crafty tribe, and trying to get a good base going. So she has challenged us to answer 12 questions that will introduce ourselves, tell a little bit about our creative journey, and just to find other like-minded individuals. So while I'm answering these questions, I'm just going to make some I'm going to do some, I'm really having a hard time finding the words today. I'm going to do some masterboard bases. That's what I'm going to do. That's what this is. And I have some scraps here, scraps over there. We've talked about my scrap organization attempts. So far, I have been sticking to them. And in fact, along the way, I have purged a lot of things that I just know that I will never use. Anyway, so as I chat and answer these 12 questions, I will make some masterboard bases. So the first question is, who are you? Where are you from? And do you have a day job? That kind of thing. Okay, so I currently live in Macon, Georgia, which is basically the center of Georgia. If you're musical, you might know that we have a lot of big name talent that comes from our little city. You know, back in the day, it was the Allman Brothers, and before that, Otis Redding, and more recently, Jason Aldean, just to mention a few. Um, anyway, that's where I live now, and I have actually lived in this area since I was a little child, um, 8 or 9 ish. Um, but I was born in Philadelphia. So, as I said, I've lived here since my father retired from the Air Force from Dover, Delaware, and he got a civil service job here. So that's what, I mean, yeah. I moved down here to be close to my parents. That's basically what it was. I do not have a day job. Um, I was a nurse. I am on a disability, but right before COVID hit, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, which, you know, sort of put a damper on my abilities to function effectively as a healthcare professional. So that happened, and it's okay. It's all right. I am what I am, and I'm still brilliant and wonderful. I'm also a widow. I have 4 grown children, 3 grandsons, and my 3 youngest children and I all live on the same street, basically. So that's that. So no, I don't have a day job, but I do have obviously I don't do this for my income. Um, Second question is, what is your favorite type of craft to make or do, and why? Okay, well, that's a difficult question for me because I do a lot of different types of crafts. My first craft that I actually remember, or started as my own thing, was cross stitch, and I still do that. Um, but even before that, my mother always did we were always heavily involved in church, so my mother always did, at certain times of the year, we always did the craft bazaars, is what they were called, for fundraisers and things like that. And she would always let me help her do stuff. So I've been crafting for basically longer than I can remember. Anyway, so my favorite type of craft to make. I crochet, I knit, I do cross stitch, I dabble in diamond painting a little bit, um, and I obviously do paper crafting. So I wouldn't say that it's my favorite thing to do, but it's the thing I do the most because it is the results are pretty much instantaneous. Like everything else, knitting, crocheting, um, cross stitch, they all take a long time to see a result, if you know what I mean. So I like plus it's something I can do every day, regardless of what my symptoms are. There's always something I can do, even if it's just, tearing up a book or gluing pages down, because I'm sure none of you will know or have heard of. I doubt that any of you will have heard of the autoimmune disease I have. Is called scleroderma, and it's rare, which is why I say most people will never have heard of it. But it affects it. It affects your brain. It makes you have permanent Swiss cheese brain, what I call turtle recall. It takes me a long time to think of anything. One of the very many reasons I could not still practice as a nurse. But also affects the joints. It makes all of your soft tissues hard. So the joints and things like that make it difficult to do. Like knitting and crocheting takes a lot of dexterity of your fingers and strength of your hands, which I don't have every day in large volume. Like my son was kind of laughing at me yesterday, getting ready for the kids to all come over. I was, getting my house ready, of course, so I vacuumed the whole house, which, that today left my elbows very, very sore today. And he kind of laughed at me. He's like, I can't even with you. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why, some one of you people needs to be coming and doing my house for me. But anyway, they have, jobs and small children and, whatever. Anyway, so when I do stuff like that, I spend the rest of the day, or the next day, I should say, the next day, sort of recuperating, which, it's highly frustrating. So that's today, my day of recuperating and being in the craft room so that I can do something, because it is part of my sort of, self-care, mental health kind of thing. So yeah, so I don't really have a favorite. I guess I should say my favorite craft is whatever I'm doing at the time, because when I have made knit or crochet blankets for all of the babies in my family, like my grandniece and nephew have blankets that I've made for them, and some of my, I call them my bonus kids, my daughter's best friends from, well, still best friends. Anyway, I make that. So when I'm finished with them, or when I'm working on them, I'm like just all kinds of impressed with myself, and that's my favorite thing I've ever done, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. And the same thing happens with my paper crafting, junk journaling mostly, and making, more recently making like photo album bases. So yeah, I'll look at some of them and be like, yeah, I really like that. This is great. This is my favorite thing I've ever done. So yeah, it's whatever I'm working on right now. What project have you always wanted to do but haven't yet? Making paper. I really want to make paper, but it's time extensive, I think. Like the pulp, making the pulp for the paper, it takes a while, from what I've seen watching videos. And then it also takes a while to dry, and I don't really have space to lay things out to let them dry sort of naturally. I don't have a lot of outdoor space. I don't have a deck or a patio or any of that kind of thing. I don't have a clothesline. I think I would like a clothesline for doing my coffee drying. Because baking it to dry it that's work to me to do it that way. So anyway, so yeah, anything that takes a lot of drying time or space to dry things out. Plus, I'm very picky about paper. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but a lot of handmade papers that I've seen some other creators do on YouTube, it's very, very thick and more like I don't know, almost like it's not very papery. It's not pliable. It's not, it's just more like a, I don't know, like a brittle kind of thing. Like you break off a chunk of it and use it. I would prefer not to use something that thick to add bulk to, my project. I'm sure I said that very, very poorly. It could have been said way more succinctly, but you know what? That's where I'm at these days. So I'm just reaching over here to grab some different book page. Yeah. So, these of course are all going to be blank. Let me try again. Just reach over here and grab. And who knows what I'm going to end up with. And then I'm going to be picky about it. I'm so silly sometimes. Just so silly. Okay, I'm back. I'm here. Right here. Hi. Hi, I'm back. Um, so, well, I just talked about this and what's my favorite thing. What craft project are you most proud of? So, yeah, like the blankets that I've made for various and sundry children in my life. And also, I just made for Christmas, as a Christmas present, I made a photo album for one of my grandson's other grandmother. So, like my, I don't know, my mother outlaw. I don't know. Anyway, so I made her a photo album of our, the grandson we have in common. And she, of course, I didn't go to her house. My daughter brought it to her mother-in-law's house, and she sent me a text that said that her mother-in-law loved it so much she started looking through it, started crying. She said she'll have to look through it when everybody's gone. So that gave me some warm fuzzies, and I was really, really proud of that work. It was difficult for me to do because it was rather emotional for me to go through all of his pictures. He'll be 2 in March. So it did get rather emotional, and it was very hard for me to eliminate some of the literal hundreds of pictures that we all have of him. So anyway, so that made me feel good that she enjoyed it. Or, it hit her like it hit me, like I wanted it to hit her. That was very circular, but you know what I mean. Sorry, I have a soda over here, which is extremely, extremely out of character for me. Like, that's probably the second or third soda I've had this year, and we're almost at the end of it. But I don't drink soda a lot. I drink water, a cup of coffee, or a cup and a half, according to the cardiologist. A cup and a half of coffee in the morning, and water throughout the rest of the day. But today I was feeling tired, and I was like on the verge of falling asleep, and I do not nap in the middle of the day, because then I won't sleep. I'm already a very poor sleeper, so. Okay, what crafting skill do you wish you had learned sooner? Knitting and crochet. When I was younger, I'm left-handed. So, no one in my family could teach me how to knit. It was just completely foreign to them. My grandmother knit like a fiend. Both of my grandmothers did. They were Irish, little old Irish ladies. And they both knit. Excuse my sniffles. And, but neither one of them really lived long enough for me to develop my interest in fiber arts. And my mother had rudimentary skills. She had a hard time doing anything with fibers. As she got older, she had psoriasis, and everything would get stuck on her fingers, and it was just really painful. Anyway, so yeah, she could teach me. We had a left-handed nun at the Catholic school I went to, and she crocheted, and she tried to teach me. Nope, couldn't do it. Anyway, so I didn't learn how to knit until my oldest grandson. I knew my daughter was expecting my oldest grandson, and he is now almost 16. So that's the gap in my grandsons. I have a nearly 16-year-old, a nearly 2-year-old, and a nearly 1-year-old. Anyway, so yeah, I learned how to knit because I was bound and determined I was making him a baby blanket. And so I did. Well, I taught myself how to knit left-handed. Then I realized that I was going to have to forever, for the rest of my life, be altering patterns in my head, because I was doing it left-handed, and I was like, no, 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 I am not that. Nope. So I re-taught myself how to knit right-handed. And after I learned how to do that, I taught myself how to crochet right-handed. So I should have just done that from the beginning, I guess. Just said, you know what, somebody, but really and truly I have, it took me becoming a nurse to actually hone my use of my right hand, because until then I could have sworn that my right hand was only to keep me balanced when I walked. It's just there. But yeah, I have, when you're a nurse, you have to learn how to pretty much learn how to use your toes to do everything too. It just is, yeah. So yeah, that is, I wish I had learned all of that hand specific stuff earlier. What inspires you when you sit down to create? Now that is a very difficult question, because I don't know. I do not know what inspires me. Sometimes, most of the time when I sit down to create, when I have even if I have a certain project in mind, as I sit here and play with ideas, or actually, if I have these things the photo album. I have the photo album blank, and I want to figure out what I want to put on each page, how to decorate it. Well, I'll get more creative as I spend time with my craft items. I guess that's what my inspiration is. I don't know if that qualifies as an inspiration, but that's what I get better the longer I sit and work on things. I don't know. Describe your crafting style in 3 words. I don't think I have 3 words for that. My crafting style. Do I have a style? Is this the style in which I want things to be created? Like, is that what I want? Like, is it vintage? Or, like, my crafting style is very chaotic. If, when I sit down and I just grab things and throw them together, that can be a crafty style, which is, like I said, controlled chaos. If it's the aesthetic style that we're looking at, it's mostly vintage, nostalgic, antique, that kind of thing. So there's that. What tools or supplies could you not live without? Well, obviously, glue. A good glue. And it took me a long time to find out what a good glue is for me, because I like the wet glue, and I use the art glitter glue for most things, but I can't, again, with the hand problems, I can't grip. So I guess one of the things I could not live without now is the My Sweet Petunia Precision Precision Glue Press, which, all it does is it squeezes the bottle for me. All I have to do is that, which, yes, indeed, makes a huge, huge difference in my crafty life as it is now. So a good glue, and it took me a while to find a good glue stick, because I live in Georgia, as I said, and it's very humid, and so lots of glue sticks will get, in the summer when I first open my glue sticks, they will have condensation just sitting on the top of them. That's how, and then they're all just like mush, you know, from the heat. They all get really soft and ugh, make a ginormous mess. And then so yeah, I had to find. I'm still actually kind of looking for the perfect one. I like this one a lot, which is, I don't know how you say it, Darice. I don't know. I found this one on the Zon, Amazon, and it's good, but it is a soft glue. And again, I don't know if that's because of my climate or if it's just that way or if maybe I'm just heavy-handed with it. I don't know. I do not know. But I tend to take, like, if I don't work towards the edges of the paper and I come back up, I will take a chunk out of the glue stick. And I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm too aggressive with the glue or if it's because the glue stick is soft. But either way, I have yet to find the perfect glue stick. And I will tell you that if I had been a child in the age of Elmer's purple glue sticks, I never would have crafted past the first day. That is the messiest stuff that I have ever worked with. It just gets everywhere and I don't like it. Okay, so that's that rant over with. It was rather aggressive. And of course I do like I have my The Works 5-in-1 down here. Somewhere here it is. Yeah, I need to store it better. You can hear it getting stuck. Yeah, so that happened. Anyway, this is like I said, the Works. And I just got it for my birthday in September. We are Memory Keepers, The Works all-in-one tool. So it, obviously it cuts and it scores. It has a stamping platform thing. Yep, let's do it the right way, Rainbow Head. There. So you can attach your silicone stamp to it. Put something on this, obviously, and then it's sort of all springy. And this is also magnetic, so you can hold stuff in place that way. It also does envelopes, banners, tabs, bows. It does bows. There's things here that you put in here. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, you can't. No, you can't. These things, these little sticks, I guess, go in here, and there's directions, obviously, on how to make bows with it. So but yeah, I mean, I'll probably never use that feature, but hey, never say never, right? So yeah, I could not do without that one now. However, I will say, if any of these people who work for these companies in, research and design or whatever it's called, how about a left-handed one? How about a left-handed one? I have to turn everything back side up and upside back front to score, because this one, the 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch goes this way, and so then when I'm trying to score, I can't see to make sure that I'm at the half an inch or what. So it needs to be, all the stuff needs to be this way. I need the cutty thing and the liner upper for the scoring to be over here, and then the inches from that way. So yeah, work on that and the spring back scissors. I don't know what they're called either. I need them to be made for left-handed people. And I hear you out there saying, "Oh, but the handle is ambidextrous." No, it's not the handle. It's the blades. The way the scissor blades are past each other. because for right-handed scissors in my left hand, the blade that comes down is in front of the line I'm trying to cut. Whereas, oops, so sorry. Whereas the front blade on my left-handed scissors is the one that comes up from the bottom. It's a thing. Trust me, if you're a lefty, you know. And so that leads me to the next item I could not live without is my left-handed scissors. Now that I have actually discovered them, which was only about 5 years ago, it's game changer. Game changer. My fussy cutting is much better. It's just game changer. Yep, game changer. It's like I had to learn how to cut like a kindergartner all over again. What inspired you to start your crafting journey and start a YouTube craft channel? Okay, well, my crafting journey was, as I said, from the time I was a little girl, and I am not a little girl anymore. Not even close. Even my daughters are not close to being little girls. My oldest daughter will be 38 in a few days. So, and I was not young. I mean, I wasn't old, but I wasn't a teenager when I had her. Right. So yeah, I started when I was a very little girl. And it has, the things that I craft, the crafting that I do, has changed much. Some things have come and gone, and is that true? Is there something I used to do that I just absolutely don't do anymore? No, not really. Not really. But yeah, my crafting focus, I guess, has changed. And how I got into doing a YouTube channel, I don't even know. I don't even know why I did it. I don't know. I watch a lot of fabulous creators, like, I'm not fixing to be a name dropper. They don't know who I am. They don't even know that I exist. But I watch Gala Gostinelli, and if you don't, I don't know where you've been. And then Tina, Shabby Dabby Doodah, Treasure Books, Natasha, Pam at the Paper Outpost, Julie, Camellia Craft Design. She's on a little bit of a hiatus right now. Joey DeFee, Joey the Card Maker. A bunch. Of course, Rach and Bella, Tracy Fox. Duh. I don't know. But yeah, so I watch a lot of them, and why I think I can do. Here's why. Let me stop lying. Here's why I started a YouTube channel. Because every creator that I've just mentioned that I follow on YouTube, Seven Plaza, Margaret at Seven Plaza. My tongue got in front of my eye teeth and I couldn't see what I was saying. Anyway, they are all so creative, so next level. They make everything look so finished, so expert, so just amazing. And I thought, I am not that level. Why would I ever be on YouTube? I would never do that. But then I thought, you know what? Bet there's a lot of people out there who think they can't do that, or that what they do isn't as nice, as good. You know what? Comparison is the thief of joy. I forget who said that, but somebody famous said it. But it is. I just wanted to get on here and be my very awkward, very non-technically skilled person self and just be that, you know what, not everyone's perfect. Not everyone gets it right the first time. And I want to do that, and I want to show that on my channel. Like, if you please watch just one of my Teresa Tries It videos and you will understand. I can't do this stuff, but yes, I can. I may not do it perfectly. I may have to start over or tweak or, you know, but it's the process. It's not the finished product so much as it is the process. And now, and this is always my thing, I have all this stuff that I like to make. What am I going to do with it? Well, I did that too. Yep. I did that too. I opened an Etsy store. I don't expect to sell anything really, but I did sell one thing, so, you know, who knows. But anyway, so yeah, that's, you know, I don't have people in my life who share my appreciation of paper arts, and so I don't really have anyone to gift this stuff to. So I just thought, you know what, I'll just sling it up on Etsy and see what sticks. What challenges have you faced as a small YouTube creator? Well, of the visibility, I guess. It's hard to get in the algorithm. It's hard to get the algorithm to give you a break and put your stuff out there as at a high as. Let me start again. It is hard to get the algorithm to put your content out to the, you know, public as frequently as an established YouTube channel. I mean, I'm sure that's was the same for every established YouTuber. At some point, they were a small creator, obviously. You don't start off with 100,000 subbies. Anyway, so that is the thing, is, you know, that's the challenge. And also, I am not a technical person. I am not, you know, not skilled at, you know, computer technology. I'm not an IT person. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. I don't have the desire to learn that kind of stuff. I don't, I use, whatever's on my iPad thing. Yeah, whatever's on my iPad. It's like, my iPad's up here. That's what's recording. And there's something that another, like, iMovie probably, I don't know. That's what if I have to pause and, you know, if I have to stop my video for whatever reason, let my dog out, let my dog in, my kids come in, then I stop recording, and, you know, that's what puts the two pieces together for me. I think it is iMovie. I don't see, that's how little I know. I don't even know what program I use, what app. But there is an app for that. So, you know, and I don't edit anything. I'm not, and I don't have, you know, again, back to the iPhone, or whatever that thing is, pad. I don't have hundreds of dollars of fancy equipment. I don't have a high-dollar microphone. This is just one I got off of, it's a local auction that does daily deals or something like that. Anyway, it's an Amazon product, but the box was already open. Maybe it was returned at some point. I don't know. But that's the microphone that I use, and that's a rather new addition to it. And I just have I had a ring light, but it stopped. So now I have a bar light, and they all just clamp onto a set of shelves I have over here to the on that wall, but over that way. And that's, that's that. And what advice would you give to someone starting a craft channel? Consistency is key. That, I think, is where I sort of went off the rails. I got discouraged, and I stopped putting content out there regularly, and so obviously my views dipped significantly, and that's what it is. And then I told myself, look, I'm not trying to be an influencer or any of that, millennial caca. I just want to share my stuff with anyone who's interested in watching. So I just started doing it again. And maybe this challenge will help. I don't know. But again, if enough small creators, small channels do it, then we can all help each other out, right? Right. And YouTube is a very, very supportive of, well, the YouTubers that I've encountered, we all do the same thing. We're all very supportive of each other. We watch each other. We promote each other. Like, if I do something that I've seen somebody else do, then I'm going to say that's who I saw do it, and, send you their way, whatever. Same thing with Etsy shops. I have, I do mostly printables these days, but I have such a back pile of, there's one craft that I used to do that I don't really do anymore, scrapbooking. But I have so much scrapbook paper, so much 12 by 12 paper. So, if I see, I do a lot of printables, so when I use a particular digital product on my channel, I will say this is from so-and-so's Etsy shop. Regardless of whether they have a YouTube channel or not, I will say, it's from their Etsy channel. And I don't know what came first, the Etsy channel or the YouTube channel, or the Etsy shop or the YouTube channel for most people, but for me, as I said, the YouTube channel came first. The Etsy came as a way to sort of not hoard the things that I make and not have them just sitting around collecting dust. And, before I started the Etsy channel, the Etsy store, I was just going to deconstruct them, just take them all apart, use the hardware, I guess, that was in them, and just pitch the rest. And I thought, oh gosh, I put so much time into that. I really don't want to just get rid of it. So, which is, again, if it doesn't sell on Etsy, I'll rethink it, reevaluate. And then, in the meantime, of course, I'm going to pay attention to what does sell and find a way to do more of that. And go from there. All right. So, yeah, if you want to start a craft channel, do it. Please do it. There's never too much, never too many channels out there. There's always going to be something that you do differently, even if it's just because your personality is different from anybody else's, that's going to draw your viewers to you in addition to the channels they already watch, right? Right. What do you hope viewers feel when they watch your videos? I hope you don't feel like you're the only one, right? You're not the only one who's glued stuff on upside down. I've done that. And I'm going to put it on video. I'm not going to edit it out because I don't have to. You're not the only one who's run out of glue in the middle of the video and has to scramble to find the one that rolled under the bed when your grandson was playing with it. I have to do that. It happens to me. You know, it's just all the weird things that I thought, oh God, this only happens to me. Apparently, it doesn't. I mean, maybe it does, but I'm going to put it out there. If it happens to me, I'm going to put it out there. So chances are, if it happens to you, it already happened to me. And it's just a matter of time before I have a video with that in it. Also, that being said, I have a very, very potty mouth in real life. I was having surgery a few years ago, and the pre-op nurse came in doing, the anesthesiology questionnaire, and she says, "Do you have anything in your mouth that comes out?" I said, sarcasm and profanity. And the little girl doing my IV, I thought she was gonna wet her pants. She was trying very hard not to mess up the IV in progress, but she had a very hard time controlling herself. And I thought, well, maybe I should have not said that until she was done. But anyway, that's me. So I tried very hard not to use that language on my channel. But again, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, because in real life, when I'm in here crafting on my own, WTF comes flying out of my mouth a lot. Like it's my mantra in here. Or are you effing kidding me? Comes out a lot. And I don't know how to edit. So when I upload my content, word to the wise, never make it for children to watch, because I never know when it's going to be that one video where it comes flying out and there's someone and their kid sitting there watching. Right? So I hope you feel like you're not alone. I hope that maybe you're inspired to do something that I do on my channel. And I hope you get a little chuckle. That's all. That is all. So, I'm going to link all this stuff below. It is Dee Dee's Studio 72. The hashtag for this is Small Crafty Creator Challenge. And we're also using the hashtag Support Small Creators and Creators Inspiring Creators. All of that will be below in the description. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.